and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Hello and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Hello and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Film My Run on Zwift. My name is Stephen Cousins and we are broadcasting live on Facebook and on YouTube. While we're getting everything ready, it would be absolutely awesome if you could go and subscribe to the Film My Run YouTube channel and also the Zwift Live YouTube channel. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/filmmyrun and also Twitter at filmmyrun, and the website is www.filmmyrun.com. It's very nearly time, so sit back, relax, don't forget to drop me a ride on and watch me do all the hard work. Right, nothing exciting. I am just doing my own little thing, running 10k, and that's it really. Just 10k around the track, just to get some miles in. So by all means, say hello if you want to. I haven't actually got Facebook started yet, but I will get it done shortly. But if you're watching, hello, welcome along. We're just doing 10k round the track, nice and steady. Nothing to write home about. For some reason, Facebook doesn't want to connect. Ah, there it is. Okay, connected. So I'll just set this up quickly. Hi Amy. we're live on Facebook and YouTube and Twitch.
And I shouldn't be. I should have my other strides with me, but for some reason I don't seem to be there. Mind you, still 4 minutes to go before the start of the meetup, so maybe it'll happen in a second. I just need it to say enter meetup, but it's not doing it at the moment. Let's start moving. Sure my strides are actually working. Yeah, okay, so both strides are moving. Right, just wait 2 minutes to see if I can actually join the meetup. I'm not looking at chat just at the moment because I've got the Apple TV on, where my chat would normally be is Apple TV. I know this is very boring for you all. I'm very sorry. Just that's the way it is. I'm just doing 10k. It's not very exciting. But only 1.5 minutes, and I still haven't got the option to join from either of my two strides, which is very annoying. Come on. To log out and log back in again, are we? Is that what we're going to have to do? Create a new meetup. Alter the start time of the meetup, that's what I'm going to do. Right, let's log out and then log back in again to my Stride foot pods. Again, I can't see your chat, by the way, at the moment because I've got my Apple TV on screen. Oh, it started. Okay. That's no good, is it? Damn it. Right. It's always the way when you're trying to connect to lots of different devices and do lots of different things at the same time. So we're going to have to crash out of this one and start a new one, aren't we? Oh dear, okay. Menu. Quit meetup. Yes, leave this meetup. Menu. Or should we just run? Let's end this run. Trash it. And let's go on to Utopia. Let's go to track. Come on, where's the track? There it is, Mayfield. Okay. Okay. Oh, meetups. Join meetup. Let's go. Yes. Right, good. That's good. So we've got that join. Can we... Is the other one going to work? Oh, I think I know what's happening. Bear with me, sorry. I hadn't done was actually accepted the invitations to the meeting. Right, now for this one. Right. So I think we've got 2 runners and me. Good. Clive Finney. Right, hang on a minute. Facebook kicked me off once for copyright issues. Oh my god. Clive Finney, how not to create a meetup. Yeah. Right, 30 seconds to go. Okay, right, we're going to run now. I'm only going to run at 10 kilometres an hour, and we'll just see if the others keep up, shall we? They won't keep up. I know they won't. All right, 10 seconds, and then we'll see if the others start running, won't we? This is going to be interesting. Let's see what happens. 1 second, away we go. Strides 1 and 2 are moving. Not very much, but they are moving. Hello Tina, hello Kim, hello Amy, hello Clive, hello Neil. I can now see your chat. Right, so there's all the 3 stride foot pods, look up there. Stephen has got it going. Actually working. Amazing. Right, so we're doing 10 kilometers an hour for 1 hour, and we're going to keep it in zone 1 or 2 for the duration of the run. Not very exciting, I know. It's just something to do, something to while away the hours on a Saturday night. Yes, 2 strides. One is an old stride without the wind function, and one is a wind stride. These two tend to be fairly close. I think the stride wind is a bit faster than the old stride. The one in the middle, the kind of the 3 lots of display results that I've got there. The one in the middle is my iPhone, the one at the bottom is Apple TV, and the one at the top is my treadmill. Jeff Partridge says, "Is your telly broken?" Just spent 2 hours watching TV with the kids, so thought it was best to have a break from the TV. So we're just going to have a very easy, relaxing solo run. Nobody else in sight. Just me on my own, running round the Mayfield track. Steve Milne has just had baked potato and chili con carne. Nice. Yeah, Neil, did you do a marathon today? Well, actually, Jeff says Victoria kicked me out. Well, Victoria's working today. She's in her office. She's got to work until about midnight tonight. So she's not a happy bunny. Me and all my mates, Jeff, yeah. Yeah, Neil, did you run a marathon today? I heard a whisper that you did something today. You yourself and another you. Gonna try and keep the heart rate mostly in zone 1. Well done, Neil. Good job. Great run. Was it 4.5 hours or something like that? Excellent work. Oh look, you can see the other 2 right behind in the distance there. Oh, 4 hours and 10 minutes. That's great time. Well done, Neil. Brilliant. I've done 2 fast sessions this week. So we did the Wednesday workout on Wednesday, funnily enough, and then I guess most of you saw the Strava results from Thursday when I took part in an event for HQ, a private event with HQ, with a few other people. Ryan Perring was doing it, and Ryan Downey was doing it. And my friend Dan Mapp was doing it. Adam Holland ran.
Tim Gross, John Hancock. So a few of the old regulars, we were invited to take part in a test event. But I can't say any more than that really. But it was 2 runs, one of 4 kilometres and one of 2 kilometres. And it was basically all out, as hard as I could go for those 2 runs. So I've done 2 fast sessions this week. So I'm not doing any more fast running this week. That's it for me. So this nice easy 10k tonight. And then I might go out on the hills tomorrow and do 20k on the hills tomorrow. Nice and slow. Oh, Clive ran a marathon as well, did he? What, inside or outside? Clive, did you run inside or outside yesterday? Today, I mean, sorry. Yes, Steve, I saw your run in the park. Very good. 8:15 this morning, followed by a 10k cool down. Amy says they looked fast runs. Yeah, basically, it was just an all-out race, and yeah, I had to go as fast as I could. And I think I came about 12th out of 18 runners. I think that there were 18 runners, and yeah, there were some fast runners, some fast runners. So I was 12th out of 18. Oh, the weekly Zwift ZLDR one. Yes, okay.
Jack it up.
So I don't know if you can see on the screen, just in the distance there, you can see the 2 strides way behind. 200 metres behind me. So there's the strides. Be the Tortoise, good evening to you. So 100 metres ahead, actually. Is that right? 100 metres ahead? Yeah, 100 metres, not 200 metres. Neil Messenger's going to do Paris tomorrow, very slowly. We had this discussion yesterday about getting the shirt for the Under Armour Run the Worlds events. And it turns out you do need to run Paris twice, or at least one of the events twice, we think, to get your shirt. So you've still got a week to go. No, you've still got about 4 or 5 days to go. But you need to get all your runs in for the Under Armour Run the Worlds events in order to unlock your kit and in order to qualify for entry into the prize draw to win the real Under Armour kit.
forgotten to turn my fan on. Not that I really need it, but it would be nice. I've had a reorganisation of the room here, and I've moved one of my 4-way adapters, and it used to be in an easy position for me to reach to turn on the fan, but I've moved it down now, so it's actually not as accessible as it was before. Right, 2 kilometres done, 8 kilometres to go. Steve Milne has a goal to try and run a half marathon distance by the end of April, his birthday at the end of April. Well, keep doing what you're doing, Steve. Work towards it, and you'll do it. No problem. You'll be all right. So you can see stride number 2 is falling behind stride number 1 a little bit. Jeff Partridge has bought himself some Innovates, which, I don't know if you know about Innovates, but not a lot of cushioning in your Innovate shoes. So Jeff Partridge is trying those out tomorrow. Alfredo says, as always, I'm amazed how you run at that speed with such a low heart rate. It's just regular running brings that on. The more you run, Alfredo, the better your heart can control it. The better your heart can deal with it. So yeah, I mean, you just have to run more, and your heart rate eventually settles. Jeff Partridge's 3rd Zwift anniversary today. Happy Zwift anniversary, Jeff. Do you know what, actually? It's only a little over. I think I started in March, but it was a bit earlier in March, in 2015, so my 6-year anniversary has just passed. Claire Hutchings says, who are the strides? Me as well, Claire. So stride 1 and stride 2 are on each of my feet. As you can see, they're running a lot slower than I am on my treadmill. But that's what you get when you buy a stride. It will measure slower, so you either have to accept that or calibrate it to the speed of your treadmill. But the thing that's great about the stride is its consistency across the paces. So whether you're going slowly or whether you're going really fast, it will be consistent. Whereas things like the milestone pod, the Zwift pod, and to some extent the Garmin foot pod, the old Garmin foot pod, and the Polar Stride sensor, all of those foot pods will have inconsistencies at different paces. So you might calibrate at one pace, but then it'll be off at another pace. It'll be off when you go quick, or it'll be off when you go slow. Whereas the stride stays the same all the way through. It's slower, it's always going to be slower, almost always. But if you calibrate it, if you're happy with the speed of your treadmill, then calibrate it to your treadmill speed and it'll be fine. Or just accept that you're going to have a harder workout and go with the stride speeds. Up to you, really. Daniel P just ordered my run treadmill. Does Zwift show the correct treadmill speed? Yes. So on my treadmill now I have 10 kilometers an hour, and on Zwift it's 10 kilometers an hour. It's exactly the same. And if I just notch up 1 on the treadmill, watch, so notching up 1 on the treadmill 1 on Zwift there, 10.1. And we'll go back down, 10.0, and it goes back down to 10.0. So it's exactly the same. It's a direct connection. Whereas if you're wearing a foot pod, it's far more fluid. You don't have anything like that amount of control. Claire Hutchings is using the NPE Run. So that's North Pole Engineering. The Run device, which I'm sure many of you know, which attaches to the treadmill and reads the speed of the treadmill belt. My treadmill is called the Techno Gym My Run. So there's my treadmill. So that's normally where incline would be. There's my speed. That's the distance I've run, which is 3 kilometers, because obviously I was running before the start of the event. So there will be more on here than there is on Zwift. And there's the time, 18 minutes 30 seconds and 18:06 up there on Zwift. So just slight difference, but that's just because I started running about 30 seconds before the race or the event started on Zwift. So we've now done 3 kilometers. Because I'm talking an awful lot, I'm in zone 2, so I'm going to shut up for a bit and we'll go into zone 1. Yes, Claire, I love it. I love this treadmill. There's nothing quite like having that direct connection, is there? I think that's the thing about the Noble Pros, are that they are really good value for money, aren't they? For what you're getting, for the price you're paying, Really good. Will be, yes, I am planning on doing a review of the Noble Pro. Dean Hand, hello to you, buddy. No, Buenaventura, it's just me on my own, just doing a nice, easy pace 10k. Leo, hello buddy. Yeah, I know you're having a tough time, mate. Just relax. It'll come back. You've got other stuff going on in your life at the moment, which takes precedence, mate. Okay, so just don't worry about the running. Don't worry about that. Just get yourself sorted. Look after your family. Okay, 4 kilometers done. 6 to go. I'm gonna hit halfway in half an hour. Oh yeah, looks like Stride 2 is going to level up. Nice one. So Stride 2 is Apple TV. Stride 1 is on my iPhone. And the top is my treadmill. Buenaventura says, who won the video 5k yesterday? It was Salim Adrian. Second week in a row. With Johannes Grimm just behind. Oh no, hang on a minute. No, was it Johannes that won? Oh, I can't remember now. There was a sprint for the line. I think it was Salim. I think Salim won with Johannes Grimm in second place. And I think Clive was third. It'd be good to have you back in Monday Run Club, Dean. Yeah, look forward to having you there. Amy finished in 6th place, I think, so and she said she was knackered. You did well, Amy. I keep meaning to advertise the event so we get some more people, but never get round to it. I must do it today. I must do it this week. Oh right, Kim says Jonas just outlasted Salim at the end. So Jonas won it and Salim in second. Okay. Niles Hoffman just confirming it was Johannes who won it yesterday and Adrian in second, Salim in second place. Thanks, Niles. Paul Cottrell, tomorrow planned long run is 13 kilometres, nice one. Tina Beard says her HR was almost at max at the end. Mine wasn't. Mine was very relaxed all the way through. Apart from when I got a little bit excited when Salim and Johannes were slugging it out at the end. Okay, Stride 2 has levelled up. There we are. We've got the audio from Stride from the Apple TV, so Apple TV has levelled up. Thank you, Sarah. Sarah Cleaver says, I always find watching these runs so relaxing. Love the music. Thank you, Sarah. So we're coming up to halfway. We should hit exactly 5 kilometres in pretty much 30 minutes, give or take a second or two. So just watch that kilometre split there, 46, 47, 9 seconds, 8 seconds to go. Yeah, we're going to be a couple of seconds out. 58, 59, 30 minutes. Oh no, bang on, look at that, bang on. Bang on 30 minutes there. Heart rate is still fluctuating a bit between zones 1 and 2, so do want to try and keep it down. This is all part of a lot of testing I keep doing for the difference. What's the difference between running indoors on a treadmill and running outdoors? And the problem with the testing is I need to keep my heart rate natural. But of course, if I keep talking all the time, it raises my heart rate. So you get an unnatural heart rate. So it would turn out that treadmill running is more difficult than outdoor running, because obviously I'm not talking to you lot when I'm running outdoors. But I am kind of taking that into account. And what I'm finding actually is the difference is hardly anything at all, to be honest. When you've got a good treadmill, and you've got good ventilation in the room, and you're experienced at running on a treadmill, because all those things play a part. At least the less experienced you are, the more uncomfortable you'll feel on a treadmill. So I am finding that in many ways, in all the important ways, treadmill running and outdoor running, for me, feel pretty much the same.
I know that's not true for everyone. And it's also only true on this treadmill and at this speed. So say I was to go on a different treadmill, say I was to go at a different pace, it might feel very different. Yeah, I like running on my own sometimes. I've had a week of workouts and races with people, so I'm quite happy to just do a bit of running on my own. And actually, I'm not alone because I've got all of you lot there chatting to me, so I'm not really alone. Yeah, Neil, I don't think you can get this hat anymore. Tom Hansen says, would you mind explaining what you're doing today with all these devices? Yeah, it's not a problem. It's just not very exciting. I've got 2 Stride foot pods, so I'm wearing one on my left foot, one on my right foot, and I have set them up on different devices. So I've got one Stride on my iPhone, one Stride on Apple TV, and then I'm running on my treadmill. So the speed at the top there, 10 kilometers an hour, is what my treadmill is saying. And then we have Stride number 1, which is an old Stride foot pod. And then Stride number 2 is the newer version of the Stride foot pod with which accounts for wind when you run outside. So they're both very close to each other, but they are quite a long way behind me now. Well, we're approaching 350, 400 meters behind me. So I will overtake them before the end of the run. And Niels Hoffman, do you want to run in the video 5K? Is that what you want to do, or do you want to just watch? We stream it every Friday evening. Next Friday is going to be a different time because the time zones changed, by the way, just to let you know. Just to remind people, because of the clocks. If you want to join the race, just look on the Zwift companion app. So there's another app that you can download onto your phone. If you just type Zwift into the App Store, you'll have 2 apps. One is an orange app, that's the game. And the other one is a blue app, that is your Zwift companion app. And in there, you'll be able to choose events that you want to take part in. So if you go to Friday evening, UK time, Friday evening, around about 8 or it's going to be 9 o'clock next week, I think. And then you can join that run. If you want to be on video, and everybody who joins the run, we encourage them to be on video. You also need to enter into a Zoom meeting. So if you join the Zoom meeting, then we'll get your video and we can show your run live on our channel. Yeah, Amy, it's because the American time zones don't change just yet. And because the Zwift servers are in America, we get this strange period of time where all the runs are at the wrong times. here in Europe. So next week, as far as I'm aware, next week the video 5k will be at 9:05. I know it's a bit late, and I don't mind if people say they can't join because it's a bit too late. That's fine. It's only for, I think it's only for a week. Yes, Leo, catch up soon, buddy. Oh, well, maybe that's why then, Kim. Or you're in a different state though, aren't you? I don't know. I don't know what it is in America, but for some reason there's some delay of about a week or so where all the races are all at the wrong times, and then it all syncs up again. Well, right, Tom says quite a big difference. I have the wind. I thought it was more accurate. Well, this is a big debate, really. You'll find that every individual stride unit is slightly different. You will get some stride units which are a lot more accurate than others, but accuracy is a very difficult thing to quantify on a treadmill. Everybody will tell you different things. Some people will tell you that the speed of my treadmill is wrong. Some people will tell you that every single stride unit is bang on accurate. I've done a lot of testing, and you will always find the stride, I would say 99% of the time, the stride will measure slower on a treadmill. And now, I'm not going to get into the science of why. Oh, here we come. Here we're going to overtake one of the strides, look. So here's stride number 2. So I'm now 400 metres ahead of stride number 2. Frenchy Polynesia, hello. But suffice to say, Tom, I'm very happy with the speed of my treadmill. The speed of my treadmill seems to match what I do outdoors, and I'm quite happy with that. I get around about the same heart rate, the same kind of run, indoors and outdoors, when I use my treadmill speed. Other people will disagree, and other people will say, no, it's the stride speed that is correct. So then you have to ask, well, which stride speed is correct? According to this one, I've got 2 strides, and one is at least 100 metres quicker than the other. So which one do you go with? So I'm quite happy to stick to my treadmill speed. See, there's the other stride, still a few metres ahead, maybe not 100 metres. 60 or 70 metres ahead. John Hepplewhite, we wondered what happened to you, because you were there, weren't you, and then you disappeared. Yeah, 9 PM is a bit late. It's a little bit late for me, to be honest, John, but I will be there. Paul Doyle says the treadmill is just more consistent. Yeah, it seems that way. Of course, it also means I don't have to fiddle about connecting things. I don't have to remember to charge my Stride foot pods. I don't have to remember to put the Stride foot pod on. Okay, so Kim is explaining a bit more about the time differences. The video 5k used to be at noon, Kim's time,
But since we changed time, it's been at 1 p.m. Kim's time. I expect it to be back to noon next week. That's interesting, okay. But for us, it's going to be 9 o'clock. But then at some point, it changes for us back to 8 o'clock. I don't know. Paul says he's running Dorney Marathon in a week's time. Haven't run outside since October. Wow. Yeah, I'm doing a 5k race up at Ardingly Showground. It's a nice flat course, so hopefully be able to try for a PB there next week. A week on Monday. A week on Monday it is. Kim, my run measures cadence as well. So that's another good thing about this treadmill. It measures cadence. It's just got pressure pads underneath that can measure when you're on the treadmill and what your steps are. Which is why also, if I step off the treadmill, it will only run for about 60 seconds before it automatically stops, because it knows you're not standing on it. Okay, less than 3 kilometers to go. I've already lapped both stride foot pods. One is about 50 or 60 meters ahead of the other. Sebastian has sold his stride foot pod for €170. Nice one. Although you've been doing ultra training. Yeah, I mean, I've been doing everything really. My main goals are South Downs Way 100 in June, TDS in Chamonix in August, Ben Nevis Ultra in September, but in between that I've got lots of different little runs. I'd like to get a half marathon PB at the end of April. The 5k next week is just a bit of fun. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to see if I can get a PB, but it's not high on my list. Just 2.5 kilometers left now. When we get to the end, I'm going to stop on the line, so both strides won't be able to finish the race, unfortunately. And then I need to make a note of the exact distance that both strides have done. And then that can go on my spreadsheet. Steve, no, I don't have a recommendation. Pretty much any foot pod will give you decent cadence. So the cheapest thing you can get is a Zwift pod. Might be able to find a second-hand Garmin foot pod somewhere, or a stride sensor, a polar stride sensor foot pod. Paul Doyle, my half marathon PB is 1 hour 25 minutes 40 seconds. I'd like to get under 125. So at least 124 something would be nice. Amy, what have you got to lose? Sign up for it, do it. Yeah, Tina says, my Zwift pod is great just for cadence. Ace Ventura says, I trust 100% my treadmill. Jogformer. Is that the name of your treadmill? Or I trust my treadmill for 100% for speed. Is that what you're trying to say? I really haven't done a very good job of keeping my heart rate down, have I? 2 kilometres to go. Now, I've just realised. Oh yeah, no, we're all right. Yeah, we're okay. 48 minutes. And now we have 2 kilometres to go. It's already booked, Paul. I'm doing Goodwood on the 25th of April. So Goodwood Motor Racing Circuit with run through on the 25th of April. So if you want to come along to that, I think there's still places. I don't know. Kieran Roberts says, do you use the Stride for running outdoors? Well, I do put the Stride on, but I use GPS for distance and pace. I don't use distance, only when I'm testing. When I'm testing, I'll use the Stride distance and pace. But I mainly use the Stride for power. So when I'm doing a hilly run, I use the Stride to try and keep my power around about the same level for going uphill and on the flat, and downhill, kind of downhill. But I don't use distance and pace. It's just not accurate. I know what the guys will say at Stride, but it just isn't. There's no two ways about it. You know, Gus over at Stride will give us 100 arguments as to why I'm wrong, and try and throw a lot of science at you, but at the end of the day, it's just it isn't accurate. Much better sticking to GPS. I mean, that said, if you calibrate the Stride, it's much better. I mean, obviously these two Strides that I'm using today, I've not calibrated them, so they're just out the box. And the difference here is a lot greater than you will get outside. So in my testing, if I run outside using a Stride foot pod, it's give or take about 150 metres out over 10 kilometres. So if I do 10 kilometres in 1 hour, the Stride will be about 150 metres short. So it will read 9.85 or something like that, around about there. Whereas on a treadmill, the Strides are much further back. 500 metres is not uncommon. So it's a long way, really. But like I say, if you calibrate the Stride, then it is much more accurate. Dean says,
Dean says, do you also log your treadmill runs on your running watch as backup or just use the Zwift running data? Normally just use the Zwift running data. However, sometimes, again, when I'm testing, I will use the watch, but I'd never use it as a backup, really. I like to have the Zwift map and everything, and I'm not really worried about all those extra metrics that you get with the heart rate monitor and stuff, so I'm quite happy with the metrics that I get from Zwift. And Zwift very rarely crashes. It almost never crashes these days. When you've got a good computer, it doesn't crash. You may have saw I did 100 miles on Zwift a few weeks ago with Clive and Amy and Jeff, and I don't think none of us had a crash. We all used Zwift on a computer, on our iPhones, on PC, on Apple TV. 24 hours of running, no crashes. So, you'd be very unlucky to have a crash. Sebastian says, I've booked the Cucumber Half Marathon on the 17th of April, but no one knows if it can even take place. The last news was that every runner will be tested shortly before. Well, yeah, it's kind of, I was going to say it's similar here, but we're fairly sure that racing can take place from April the 12th, sometime in early April when we change the rules. We're fairly sure that we will be able to race. Paul Doyle is going to ask permission from the boss to come and run with me on the 25th of April. One kilometre to go as of now. We're 1 second behind. Okay, or 1 second ahead. That's okay. 1 second's all right. We can live with a second. It'll take a while for the treadmill itself to slow down anyway. Take about 10-15 seconds for the treadmill to stop. Paul Doyle's racing on the 3rd of April. And Sarah Cleaver's got a half marathon happening on the 11th of April. Okay, Jeff Partridge says it did crash once during the 100 miler on the iPad, but it resumed when I logged back in. Oh, God, that must have been a heart-stopping moment, Jeff. Alright, so Paul Doyle is asking permission from his other half. Victoria says, I don't remember you asking permission. There we are, I'm in trouble now. Victoria, you're supposed to be working. You're not supposed to be watching this. 800 metres to go. So stride 1 is 500 metres behind. Stride 2 is about 600 metres behind. 550, let's say. Remember, these are uncalibrated strides. You calibrate your stride to the speed of the treadmill, then they will match much better. Or if you want to believe either of those strides are correct, then you can go with those. Paul, don't you back her up now. That's not on. Jeff Partridge says racing from the 29th of March in England, but no overnight travel until the 12th of April. Okay, that's it. Okay, right, now Tina's ganging up on me. So Paul Doyle, Tina and Victoria now ganging up on me for not asking permission
to race a half marathon on the 25th of April. I may not be there now. I may not be there. Yeah, Dean, that sounds about right. 105 calibration for the stride to match the My Run. Yeah. Yes, and it will do, Dean. It will match all speeds throughout, because the great thing about the stride is it is consistent all the way through the speeds. So when we get to the end, I will stop on the line and we'll see what the strides have come up with. Just about 400 metres to go. Jonathan says, put your foot down. I can't, John. This is control. We've got to finish exactly 10k in exactly an hour. Victoria's getting me in even more trouble now. Exactly, Amy. You want to do it, so you book it. Simple as that. Right, coming to the end. Oh, I see. Put your foot down. Oh, I'm not quite that manly enough, Jonathan. I don't often put my foot down. I like to think of myself as enlightened and, in touch with my feminine side. So I try not to put the foot down in our house. Plus, if I did, Victoria would probably beat me up. She's not averse to physical violence. I love my wife. Right, here we go. 100 metres round the bend. And then we'll stop. It will take a few seconds for the treadmill to slow down and come to a halt. But that'll be 10 kilometres in 1 hour. Another test run to add to the list, which is now up to about 44. 44 runs indoors and outdoors, using the Stride, the My Run, GPS, different GPS watches, and here we go. That was interesting. We actually ran over 10k there, didn't we, as well? Well over. Right, 1 hour 22, 23, 24, 25. There we are, stopped on 1 hour 25 seconds. But we actually did marginally more than 10k, because why does it do that? Why does the race always go more than... Anyway, never mind. Right, so we're done. Victoria says, I would never use violence. My vocabulary is enough. I use my infamous poker face a lot. Yeah, I do that. That is my secret weapon, my poker face. Gosh, that music's loud, isn't it? Sorry, hang on. Right, there we are. Okay, so stride number 1, which is the Stride Wind, the newer version, got to 9.47 kilometres. and the old stride wind, which is actually new to me. So I did have an old stride. I did have an old stride, and that I used for many years, and it died on me a few months ago. I managed to source a new one, a new old stride. Now, this one seems to be even slower than the stride wind. So my old stride that died used to be a lot more accurate in terms of matching the treadmill, and it wouldn't have been far behind at all. Whereas this old stride is even slower than the wind. So 9.43 kilometers for the old stride, 9.47 for the new stride. So about 40 meters difference between the two foot pods. Why is it still counting up? Oh, the time's counting up because it's still a race, isn't it? And they haven't finished the race yet. Yeah, well, tough. We're just going to have to say it's 1 hour, 25 seconds. They can just quit the event. So, yeah, there we are. 10 kilometers done to add to the spreadsheet. Unfortunately, heart rate a little high because I did a lot of talking today. That's why I know I live stream, but for a lot of these runs, I try and keep a bit quiet, and I failed miserably today. So the heart rate is probably a little more elevated than it would be naturally, because I'm trying to prove by a series of different runs. I'm trying to prove that if you've got a good treadmill and you've got good ventilation in the room, the indoor running on the treadmill should be pretty much comparable to outdoor running. You should have around about the same heart rate. It should feel about the same. Things like cadence are different. For me, cadence outside is always higher than cadence inside. And then there are lots of other metrics. Things like leg spring stiffness, ground contact time, things like that, which do... ground contact time tends to be about the same. Leg spring stiffness is a lot more on the treadmill because the treadmill is bouncier. So things like that. When I've got enough runs, I will make the spreadsheet available to people to view if they so desire. But that is it. We're off. I'm going to go and have a shower, and we may see you for a pot noodle run tomorrow evening. I'll try and convince Victoria to do a run tomorrow evening. I'm going to go out on the hills in the morning, do a little hill run tomorrow. So thank you very much for watching. I hope it wasn't too dull and boring for you. Thanks for chatting. Jonathan says 10 kilometers per hour is totally zone 2, but at the moment anything over 8 puts me into zone 3. Gosh. Are you under any stress at the moment at work, Jonathan? Are you not feeling very well? Lots of things like that will affect it. Are you sleeping okay? Sarah Cleaver says, daughter and I have enjoyed tonight. Cheers. Thank you, Sarah. It's very kind of you to say so. Clive says, nice one, Stephen. Have a good night. See you all tomorrow. Amy and Jeff, guys, thanks very much for watching. Go and have a shower. I will go and have a shower, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.